Good evening, everyone. We'd like to call this meeting to order of the Nicholas County Board of Education regular meeting Monday, August 4th. And at this time, please stand for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Please join the board with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Cochran.
Down to item 4 on the agenda, we have a celebration tonight. We would like to welcome our newest board member that's been appointed, Mr. Freddie Seabolt. If he would come up front, let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Seabolt comes to us with a lot of experience and very intelligent man, and I'll look forward to working with him in the near future. Ms. Martin is going to swear him in, so go ahead.
Okay, repeat after me. I, Freddie C. Seabolt,
Freddie C. Seabolt,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of member of the Board of Education.
Let's back up on this. Why don't you read all that at one time, kid?
And I will faithfully discharge
I will faithfully discharge
the duties of member
and the duties of member
of the Board of
of
Education
the Board of Education
of the County of Nicholas
of the County of Nicholas,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill,
and judgment,
And
so
judgment.
help me God.
so help me God.
Okay, if you sit by me, right?
Oh, gosh, no.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to everybody.
All right. As we move through the agenda, just since we have some new people here tonight, just to understand that all the items that we cover on the agenda tonight has been pre-approved by the West Virginia Department of Ed and the state superintendent. Item 5 is the approval of the minutes, which was held July 5th. Item 6, we do have some recognitions tonight. We would like to celebrate some great accomplishments by some of our students. Oh, I'm sorry, July 7th. I'm sorry.
You're
Some of our students who have competed this school year very successfully. They've represented Nicholas County Career and Technical Center and Nicholas County tremendously. So for their efforts and the skills that they have shown and their abilities, we'd like to recognize them tonight publicly. I'm going to ask Mr. Bayless to come up. Mr. Bayless, why don't you walk us through the students' journeys all the way from Nicholas County Career and Technical Center through the process of qualifying for the state competition, how they fared at the state competition and on to nationals.
Yeah, I'll probably mess this up really bad, so Mark might help me a little bit. But basically, all of our skills members have to compete in an in-house skills competition at our school, at our local level, prior to qualifying for our state level. So if you win first place at our school level, you go on to Fairmont and compete in our state skills USA competition. And anybody who wins first place there gets to go on to nationals, compete in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's a whole different ballgame in Atlanta. It's 20,000 skills people all competing together for a big prize. So, to get a little school like us on a national stage for 2 years in a row, pretty incredible. So, and that stuff just doesn't happen by accident, you know, it's happens by a lot of support by our board, which we really appreciate. And we have some of the best advisors probably out there. So I really like to introduce our three Skills USA advisors. We got Mark Odell and Bo Odell. Then we have Mandy Kessler, and Mandy's the one that kind of keeps us all organized, pretty much on schedule and slightly feared for our lives when we mess up. So, you know,
Somebody's got to.
someone's got to do it, so she's the one. But Mark's gonna talk to you guys about the competitions and just how they placed. And guys, if you guys get your name called, just stand up here, and when we're done, we'll get a picture of the board. Okay, thank you guys again for taking the time with us like that. Yes.
Again, as Mr. Bailey said, I'd like to thank the superintendent, Mr. Cochran and Mr. Prime, and all the board members for taking a moment to recognize these students. I will tell you, we're kind of running short on students. Band camp started today, so several of them won't be able to be here, but man, what a year we had for sure. Much like Mr. Bailey said, you know, it all starts at the local level. You have to compete there. First place goes to states. We're competing against a lot of, well, we're competing against all the other 49 states. And I will mention, you know, I think Puerto Rico, the Cayman Islands, and even I believe Mexico had a team or two in there this year. So when you go to Atlanta, the competition is stiff. It's like I told a group a few years ago, they'll take your lunch and eat it in front of you down there. So quite an accomplishment to go down there and to be able to compete, you know, just can't say enough about these kids. You know, simply put, there's not a weak competitor down there. They are all state champions. You take states like Texas, Pennsylvania, California, a lot of times they'll compete locally. Not only do they compete locally, but then they'll have to go through regionals as well, and then go to the state level. So like I say, the competition down there is stiff for sure. So what an accomplishment for a small school from South Central West Virginia. So proud of you guys. So I'll go ahead and start calling these students up. First student is Braden Pearson. Braden, if you would come up, he competed in related technical math. Braden has competed nationally 3 out of the last 4 years. So pretty daggone awesome. Next, we have outstanding chapter. We got third place, Savannah Bailey, Hayden Cook, and Troy Wynn. Savannah couldn't be here. Next is chapter display, which got second place, Alyssa Bailey, Avalon Blue, Josiah Stewart. Next, we have Model of Excellence. First place in workplace skills, Caitlin Kessler, Kaylin Williams. I like to also add that Caitlin was also elected a state officer this year, so she'll be representing Nicholas County and the state of West Virginia as a state officer. That's pretty impressive. Also, we have in welding, placing 10th, Grayson Williams. When you're talking about some of these competitions, and welding is one of them, you could have 50 or more competitors. It's one of the more popular competitions down there. So again, placing the top 10 down there, that's pretty daggone awesome for sure. I'd also like to mention the other competitors. They're not here, but that was able to compete We had Alexander Rogers in power equipment, River Garland in carpentry, Zane Spencer, Brennan Legg, and Mason Bells did welding fab. So thank you all for your time and guys, way to go. We're proud of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just can I?
Yeah, you're fine.
Elaborate on something just for 1 second. 'Cause, like Mr. Bale said. Caitlin's here, you're welcome. Caitlin's competition, just to let you guys know more about what that is. All of these kids are fantastic and what they have achieved is fantastic. The model of excellence that Caitlin represented us in isn't her competition. That's a recognition of our school. In order for that to happen, our school has to meet so many requirements with meetings and leadership trainings and different things that the students have to do with fundraising and community service activities and community outreach. And there's different levels that you can attain with model of excellence. The first step is chapter distinction, and we have done that every year since, I want to say 2019, maybe 2018. If you can achieve that first level, which says, yeah, we're having meetings, yeah, we're having officers, then you have an opportunity to advance to a gold chapter of excellence at your state level. And only 3 to 5 schools each year in the state can do that. And that's where you start building in the community service and that type of thing. Then those schools at the state level that are chosen as gold chapters have the potential to advance as model of excellence recognition. When that happens, that's 8 schools in the entire nation.
Wow.
Are considered for model of excellence in each of the 3 Skills USA frameworks: workplace skills, technical skills, and personal skills. So our students, our school, worked hard enough to advance us to that 1 in 8. And then we chose 2 of our students to represent us. We were specifically chosen for our work on workplace skills, specifically planning, management, and organization of our blood drives that we have at our school. And they were chosen as the #1 school in the nation for the 2024-2025 school year for our workplace skills that we put through for our students. So that's a huge accomplishment for our school.
Huge, yeah.
We are the first school in the state of West Virginia to achieve model of excellence for workplace skills.
Awesome.
There's only ever been one other school chosen for one of the other components. So
That's great.
that's a huge deal, and I'm just so
Yes.
proud of
Yeah. As you should be proud. Come on up. Mr. Bayless, you and your staff, come on up. We'll get a picture with the board.
Up there. We're not going to go down there.
Maybe come over this way.
No, you get over here.
Somebody say. Maybe I'm hiding. Are we good? Is that it?
Right there. Raise.
Okay.
First 2 or 3, good job.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good job as always.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mark.
Congratulations.
We have one other student achievement that we would like to highlight tonight. I would like to ask Mr. Phillips and Mr. Williams come forward. I'll let them discuss the program as it relates to proximity learning and the achievement that one of our students came away with this year.
Thank you. President, Superintendent, fellow board members, thank you for an opportunity to speak and to recognize one of our students from Richwood High School. Nicholas County Schools have had great success and great collaboration in working with, we commonly call the SESC, the Southern Educational Services Cooperative. And Mr. Phillips represents the SESC this evening. What they do is they, through a memorandum of understanding, work with Nicholas County Schools for our virtual platform, and that is with Proximity Learning. Ken Lester runs that program. We work very closely with Ken Lester. And so we're going to recognize a ninth grade Richwood High School student that's on the virtual platform this evening that has done outstanding within the platform. And so, Charlie, I'll ask you to come and we'll recognize this family.
Thank you, Mike, for that welcome, and thank you, board members, for having us here today. As Mike mentioned, I'm Charlie Phillips with the Southern Educational Services Cooperative, and I'm the principal of our virtual school and a product of Nicholas County Schools. Mr. Roy Moose was actually my high school chemistry and AP chemistry teacher.
Straight A's, straight A's.
I'm grateful for the forging of this partnership for two reasons. We're able to provide Nicholas County students with a quality education, but we're also able to retain them as Nicholas County students. So they're not going to another platform and no longer Nicholas County students. I think that's a positive within this program as well. Today, we are here to celebrate one of Nicholas County's finest, several of them, even through Skills USA. And I want to point out that Faith Phillips is our award recipient today. She just finished ninth grade, and she's actually been with our program for a couple of years now. She's actually been a student that we use as a model when we meet with Nicholas County parents and students at the beginning of the year for those that are interested in virtual school. So each year, the Southern Educational Services Cooperative and Proximity teachers are asked to nominate a student in our virtual school who stands out amongst her peers. Faith was nominated a record 5 times from 5 different teachers. And it's important to note here that we have 450 students in our program in 16 different counties. To get nominated 5 times is a real achievement, Faith, so congratulations. And I wanted to inform you who nominated you and tell you a couple of things that they said. Your physical education teacher, Jennifer Wood, nominated you. Your Algebra 1 teacher, Michelle Sloan. Your music appreciation teacher, Erica Reed. Your Earth and Space Science teacher, Jeffrey Beard. And your ELA teacher, Ariel Rockmore. And these are just a couple of the things that they said. Faith, you have been a joy to have in class this year. I'm grateful for your excellent attendance, your active participation, your high academic achievement, and your kind interactions. All the best to you in your future endeavors. Michelle Sloan said, you are such a great student and so funny with a lot of O's. And then Erica Reed said, you are a fantastic student. I appreciate your daily participation and awesome work ethic. Great job this year. So Faith, congratulations on being nominated 5 times by 5 different teachers and receiving this academic excellence award from the Southern Educational Services Cooperative, Proximity Learning, and Nicholas County Schools. So this certificate of achievement and academic excellence is proudly presented to Faith Phillips, awarded this first day of June 2025. And it's signed by Kit Pigman, the Director of Virtual Schools, Proximity Learning, Kenneth Lester, Client Success and Account Manager, Proximity Learning, and Jason Butcher, Chief Administrator of the Southern Educational Services Cooperative.
Get a picture. Yeah.
Take pictures.
What?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 7, superintendent's information updates. I do have a couple for the board. Quickly, just a quick update on our construction projects that's going on in the county. The Richwood Academic Complex is moving along. We are getting close to the start. The construction firm and the architects still think we're on track for opening of school. We met with the school administration this morning and laid out a plan how to transition and make that happen. Our next step is getting the final approval from the state fire marshal, who will do, he is scheduled for his on-site visit next Tuesday, the 12th. Once he gets us owner occupancy, then we'll roll our plan out. I did have a good conversation today. It does look like we may have the possibility to get some items transitioned to the facility prior to getting that final fire marshal approval, such as teacher supplies, cafeteria tables, et cetera. So I'll know more about that tomorrow morning. Once we get to go ahead with that, we'll start transitioning some of that stuff over. So at this point, we're still on track. The parking lot, the parking area has all been repaved. Striping was done this weekend. The company flew a worker to Missouri last Thursday, picked up a U-Haul full of the exterior doors that was left, 16 exterior doors. Those were delivered Saturday. Install on those started today. Once those exterior doors are done, there's a little bit of flooring left in the front storefront of the middle high school, which is phase 1, phase 2. And then the facility will be complete. It is beautiful. I can't wait to get to show it off to the community, to the staff, and the students. So we're looking forward to getting in there. It is going to come down to the wire, but I have a feeling that we're going to cross that finish line. So that's a quick update on the Richwood facility. The Summersville Academic Complex is moving along nicely. We had a call today, actually on the north face of the building. The masons completed the exterior brick work on it. So the brick is finished on that side. Roofing continues to be done. They are well on track to have that facility under roof and completely dried in before winter. Still on track to projection with the opening at the beginning of next school year. Again, going to be a beautiful facility. The Nicholas County High School major improvement project that we had going on with the sewer upgrade, the sewer line upgrade, that has come along nicely. I was down there today myself. They poured the new concrete floor last Thursday. All of the new plumbing is in, all the new electrical lines are in. Today, they were laying up the interior walls in the kitchen. The masons were laying those up. And then tomorrow, the company will be back to start the process of getting the concrete floor ready for epoxy in the kitchen. And then they were also prepping the hallways, which were tore up with new tile. The epoxy will cure over this weekend coming up and then start moving the kitchen equipment back in next week is the goal. So things are moving. It is going to be tight at Nicholas County High School also. But again, I'm positive and we always have a plan B, but we're focused on plan A right now. So that's where we're at with the construction projects. Couple other real quick ones I had. Just for the board members that were here last school year, I received a notice from the School Boards Association that those members still needed to complete their self-reflections, their board appraisals.
I was told that we didn't have to do it.
Well, I double checked and they stated, yes, go ahead and complete those.
Okay.
So there's a link on the School Boards Association website. It's under more. If you click on more, it'll come down. It says school board appraisal, and this self-appraisal, and just complete that link. I believe those have to be available on our website by August 15th, the results of those. That was the information that I received last week. So I just want to notify you of that. We will be having our beginning year Principals Academy, which is scheduled for this Thursday and Friday here at the board office. We have a jam-packed agenda both days. We're going to kick it off on a positive note. We're going to get our principals really focused on climate and culture. That's the topic of both days is climate and culture within our schools. So we look forward to spending some quality time with them. That's all I have under my updates. Next, I have Mr. Jeff Kelly is here tonight just to share some information from the West Virginia Department of Education. Mr. Kelly, you have the floor.
President, members of the board, Superintendent Cochran, came up where I asked Superintendent Cochran for an opportunity to provide an update subsequent to the recent intervention in Nicholas County schools. We try to do these roughly about every 6 to 8 months, just to keep the board and the public up to speed on things that have transpired over that span of time. As most of you are aware, the West Virginia Department of Education began a special circumstance review on April 14 of 2025. Specifically, the State Superintendent of Schools directed a review of some matters that have been relayed to the department by citizens here in Nicholas County, complaints and concerns. These reviews are conducted per West Virginia Code 18-2E-5 and Policy 2322. A little background there. In March of 25, West Virginia Department personnel were notified of a number of concerns which led to that. The areas of review were the superintendent, the central office leadership, county board member effectiveness and responsibilities, personnel and hiring practices, and procedures to create, support safe and supportive schools. The review team, I believe, arrived on April 21 of 25. We had 2 teams here, one for the central office and one for Summersville Middle School. On May 14, West Virginia Board of Education received the report associated with that visit and review. And they intervened in the school system here in Nicholas County. I'm sure you guys are all aware of that. That next day, myself and 2 representatives, Mr. George and Mr. Fitzroy, who would take on the roles of superintendent, assistant superintendent, we came up here the following day and met with central office staff that next morning. We had a large group meeting in this room, and then we began to have individual meetings with those staff members. And I believe every one of them at one juncture or another met with either myself, Mr. Fitzroy and or Mr. George over probably the next week. We basically mapped out what we thought would happen based on experience. We tried to stress that we were going to try to identify our issues and get in a solution mindset. Let's fix things and try to get things where they need to be. We discovered, as we do in these situations, beyond what is initially discovered, we generally start to find other things as we peel back the layers. And we found a number of things upon our arrival and the subsequent days thereafter. We had teachers and substitutes that were in positions without proper certification or permit. We had improper hiring of individuals with only substitute permits into full-time roles. There were a lack of contracts for administrators and substitutes. We had incomplete or missing background checks. Personnel files were disorganized and inconsistently maintained. Along with operational pieces, we had job postings where the job numbers were reused. This causes tracking issues. There was no clear hiring procedure or documentation thereof. Start to take some corrective actions or to set in motion things that might help us clean that stuff up. We dug deep into certification compliance, enforcement of the processes that help us identify employees and what they can and cannot do. We were started reviewing contracts and background checks across the board and standardize that process. Database created for HR. Started looking at policy for hiring, substitutes, and attendance. Started to review the organization of the central office staff to see if it was being used to maximize efficiency. Those were some of the things. I'm sure that Superintendent Cochran is making you aware of other things that he is discovering and fixing along the way. I did reach out prior to my coming up here and asked that if any of the board members had questions, they could go ahead and send them to me beforehand. And I did receive, I believe, 5. And questions beyond that, I'll try to field. And if I don't have an answer, I'll get you one as quickly as possible. One of the things that is asked, or was asked, was, what has the board done right? And I get that because so many of these things occurred here among employees. But at the end of the day, the board is ultimately responsible for the operation of the schools. As far as the process by which a county board or a county system is intervened, while the board has the authority to operate, they are also overseen or supervised by the state board per the Constitution. And they have broad authority to intervene when they see things that are wrong, such as we did here. I was asked about the length of time that state takeover spans, and that just depends. Prior to this past year, I think the average state takeover roughly lasts about 6.9 years. We've had some that have lasted significantly longer and some that have lasted significantly shorter. Obviously, we want to try to get things where they need to be and then back to normal as soon as possible, if possible. But that depends because on a lot of variables, because we ultimately end up finding other things along the way, which stretches that time. At the end of the day, there's no set of boxes that have to be checked off, which once they're done, you just get the autonomy back. Generally, we're going to look to make sure that the current concerns that have been identified, are addressed. We have to be convinced that the board's in a situation where they're not going to allow it to return to that once we're gone. Believe it or not, we have board members sometimes who try to play nice until things return to normal, and then they just go back to the way things were, and we can't have that, obviously. Not seeing any evidence of that here. I'm not suggesting that at all. And we also want to see that there's evidence of sustainable academic productivity. Ultimately, we're here to teach kids. We saw some fine examples of that tonight. That's fantastic. So we have to make sure that that piece is in place, and we believe it's going to stay that way. I was asked, I think you had at least one representative sitting in on the construction calls. That stopped. That's something that we would have identified as day-to-day operations. Superintendent Cochran provided an update to the board on the construction tonight. I'm sure he does that frequently and will continue to do so. that would be the appropriate way for the board to receive that information. And then lastly, there was a question about visits to construction sites. I mean, we shouldn't have people visiting the construction sites. There are people walking around with hard hats on there. It's a safety concern to have people visiting those sites, not to mention there's work being done there. I think one of the earliest requests we had was for a tour from a group to do a tour of the buildings, and we denied that because it's not ready to tour. There will be a time in the near future when the facility is able to be toured, and I'm sure Superintendent Cochran will arrange to accommodate folks on that front. So those were the questions that I had been presented previous. If you all have any additional questions, Mr. President, I'll be happy to try to answer them. And if I don't have an immediate answer, I will get you one as soon as I possibly can. So.
So I thought of something after the deadline, and on these job, when someone applies and they go through the system to be checked, what's the state policy? Does the state have a policy on background checks?
There's code for background checks, and I'm sure Ms. Fletcher, who's now HR director, would be more than willing to provide some background information or do a presentation to the board at a future meeting, explaining all that. If indeed you need somebody external from our office to come up and do that, I'm not personnel, but I can certainly provide somebody to come up here and give you direction on that front as well.
So we all go to board trainings, several times a year. Sometimes it's one time a year. Now it's 12 hours. And at our board trainings, everyone I've been to, basically they say, whatever's presented to you from your personnel director and your superintendent, then you accept it. So that's what we did. And we kind of got in trouble for it. So should we intervene? I mean, when does it come to a point where we say, no, we're not going to hire that person because, and you can hear all kinds of things out, especially on Facebook.
Certain of that.
So, and I'm not the only board member in this state that feels this way. I've talked to several from other counties, and they're like, basically, when it's presented, you're supposed to vote yes. So do we question it? Are we allowed to see background checks?
I think your question here is twofold, and I think we probably need to get some clear guidance from you collective from Mr. O'Call with the School Board Association, who he's tapping into for that information, as well as our HR folks here at the state level, but I will get you some clear guidance.
Okay. So are we allowed to see a background check if we have a question?
I don't know that you are.
I know, but yet we're responsible for it.
Fletcher's shaking her head no. So.
And that's what I don't, it's like, we're in charge of everything. We're responsible for everything, but in charge of nothing. I mean, that's the way it looks. If we're not allowed to see a background check and it's presented us to vote on somebody and we vote yes, and then later on something happens, it puts us in a real position.
Understand.
So, and I'm not trying to be argumentative.
No, you're fine. I don't like the balance.
And you guys have any questions?
I think it said no unauthorized personnel were allowed to visit the sites. Are we authorized personnel? Are we allowed to visit the sites?
Well, no, because the moment you all gavel out of the meeting, you're a citizen like anybody else in Nicholas County. And we wouldn't, I think Jim Brown used to say to board members in his trainings and his conversations with them, if any other citizen can do it, you can do it. So we're not going to allow citizens to come and go or visit the webs or the construction sites, especially at this juncture. And there'll be a time when that'll be able to happen, but it's not now.
And once again, the previous board were given, they were given hard hats. They were given vests and they were encouraged to visit the sites frequently.
They invited us to.
And,
Right on.
and then,
When you say they, who was they that invited you?
Got city.
the contractors. So, and once again, I know of other school systems that are having schools built and their board members, you know, they do. Now, we're supposed to check into Job Trailer, make sure we have a hard hat.
Right.
And myself personally, I've only been to Richwood site 3 times. And I've been over here 2 times. And I didn't want to, the reason I didn't visit a lot, because I didn't want to slow progress. You know, that's not what, we got to have these kids out of pocket. And that was my whole,
I'll follow up with Mr. Whitlow.
For example, there was a memorial placed at the elementary school in Richwood for a child that has passed away. Well, the parents asked me, what's happened to that memorial? Well, I can't go see. I can't find out.
I know where it's at.
Yeah, we're going to take care of it.
It's in the concrete in the sidewalk,
Yeah.
right there almost where it was at originally.
Has it already been put in?
Yes, it has.
Well, thank you. See, everything we hear is from the public. We hear nothing.
Well, and I think any questions like that come back to you all, you'd funnel back into the chain of command with superintendent and maintenance director so that that information comes back to you. I will follow up with Mr. Whitlow to see if there's anything that I'm not understanding clearly that
Okay.
that would allow that. And I think there are probably scenarios and situations where a job site visit might be okay, but it can't be a just free flow show up,
Oh.
go, come and go.
oh, yes.
They toured us, they took us through like over here, Summersville. They met with us and we all walked through together and he told us everything that was going on. So.
And we, you know, any place they were working, we stayed, you know, we weren't right up where they're working. And then slipped my mind. But anyway,
If anything comes up after
Yeah, we can-
tonight, questions, concerns, you can shoot Superintendent Cochran, he'll get them to me and I'll try to get you a response in a timely manner.
okay. Well, and you have, and you always do.
Anything additional?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Keller.
appreciate your all's time.
Thank you. All right, as we move on, item 8 on the agenda is the action items. There were 6 action items that have been approved. Those are the MOU with Proximity Learning to provide virtual instruction platform for Nicholas County Schools, MOU with the SESC for bus operating training and examinations for FY 25-26, and permission to post the following bylaws and policies out for 30-day comment. These policies are a result of the April and May updates that came from Neola. And basically, they are either revisions due to change in West Virginia Board of Ed policy or change in recent legislation to bring them up to par. There were 3 new policies here that will also be out on comment. And again, those are due to changes according to West Virginia Board policy or West Virginia legislature.
How can we access that?
Those will be available on our website. There'll be a link on our website to view the entire policies. And then there'll be also a place to make any comments as related to those policies. So those will be on review for 30 days. We will look at the comments that come in at the end of the 30-day period. Then we'll bring those back for official approval.
So 24, is it number 24 under C?
Mhm.
Is it,
It was rescinded due to the fact that, I had that language right here. It was rescinded due to that language that they moved it up into another policy. So it's just joined another policy.
okay, all right. Thank you.
Yep. The other items, action items that were approved were, the official resignation of board member Philip Berry effective May 18th, 2025. Approval to recognize Assured Partners of West Virginia as our BRIM agent of record, and the approval of the pre-K calendar. There were some consent items, which again has been previously approved by the state superintendent. Those were basically your monthly payment of invoices, June budget supplements and transfers, payment of current invoices, contracts with National Geographic, Cengage for social study materials, Miller and Sons auction contract approval, Mick Hooters Touring Musical Theater, that's for performance contract from Title I.
I should say suitor.
It's a S.
Yes, instead of a C.
Janet, you get that change? Okay. Community and Schools MOU, ZMM Contract Amendment number 14 for Skanska, City Construction Change Directive number 2, the Fife Jones Group, which will conduct our audits for FY 25, 26, and 27, Appalachian Office Products, Equipment Service Contracts, Rebecca Campbell, Behavior Service, Tracy Frazier, LPN Services, Amy Williams, Speech Services, Maximum Health, our nursing services. Some bids that were approved, acceptance of Camden Ongali Medical Health bid for school-based health services at the new Richwood Academic Complex, acceptance of New River Health Association's bid for school-based health services at the new Summersville Academic Complex when it is open.
Question, can I ask a question? Does the state see those bids,
Correct.
the whole bid,
Yeah,
or just the
everything.
recommendation?
No, they see everything.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Approval of Home Depot Supply Works for custodial supplies under Omnia contract. Under personnel, we had one new professional personnel hiree. That was for the position of middle school math at Summersville Middle. We had 4 transfer professional personnel, Brianna Waters, Kelly Rapp, Minnie Kaufman, and Jason Hypes. We had 1 employment of a substitute professional, Adam Baker. Employment of extracurricular, extra duty personnel, there were 8 of those.
Now, all substitutes have to have a degree now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
The 8 extracurricular, extra duty professional recommendations that were approved were David Henderson, Bethany Hall, Stephanie Thomas, Isaac Prather, for 2 positions, Cody Boone and Eric Blankenship. We had 1 leave request per their individual's request. That's professional personnel, Aaliyah Amick. There were 9 resignation requests of Howard Dotson. We had 9 requests for resignation or retirement from professional personnel. Angela Amick, Carolyn Smith, Lauren Gerald, Rocky Roberts, Ashley Wall, Tina Helms, Caitlin Boggs, Megan Bales, and Vicky Malone. Under service personnel, we had 12 transfers. And as you can see from the positions, I'm not going to read them all, from the positions that they're transferring from to where they're going. And then we had the approved rescinded transfer service notices and the approved rescinded service RIFs. There were 2 retirement resignation requests from service personnel per their request. Sabrina I'm not sure how to say that, Winels and Patricia McKinney. We had 1 recommendation for hiring volunteer extracurricular. That is for football coach at Summersville Middle, Nathaniel Tyree. And our next regular meeting will be September 8th, 2025 at 5 o'clock here at the office. And I will keep the board apprised as we move closer to the start of school. The more information that I get and if plans vary or change, I will get that information to you as soon as I know. And we'll also share that again. I met with the school administration today at Richwood, and we have plans for open houses. We have plans for community open houses, but again, contingent upon what the outcome of the fire marshal is next week. And that's all I have.
We assisted in transferring into Panther. Will we assist in transferring from there into Richwood as well? I mean, or,
When the Cherry River Phase 3 opens,
yeah,
yes, we will assist with that.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
What,
That won't.
I'll volunteer to help move stuff.
what he's asking is we all volunteer.
Okay,
We all volunteer.
okay.
And,
And I'll let you know too, as soon as I get more information tomorrow from the fire marshal as it relates to the Richwood facility. If we can start transporting stuff, we're going to get on that ASAP.
okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion.
Mr. Green makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Moose. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion unanimous at 5:51.